Did you know that three common vitamins, ones you might be taking every day, could be quietly destroying your leg strength and putting your independence at serious risk? Many seniors believe that taking more vitamins means better health, but the truth is, not all supplements are helpful. Some can be downright dangerous, especially for people over 60. These three particular vitamins, when taken excessively or unnecessarily, can weaken your legs, damage your muscles, and increase your risk of falls, fractures, and even permanent mobility loss. Let's talk about what they are, why they're dangerous, and what you should do instead before it's too late. 1. Vitamin E, the silent muscle weakener. For decades, vitamin E has been promoted as a miracle supplement, praised for its supposed benefits to heart health, skin elasticity, and even anti-aging. Many older adults take it daily, trusting that it supports their vitality. But for seniors, especially those over the age of 60, the very supplement that's intended to preserve life may, in fact, be quietly taking away the ability to live it fully. Vitamin E is fat soluble, meaning it doesn't just pass through the body like vitamin C or other water soluble nutrients. It accumulates over time, stored in your body's fat tissues and liver. When taken in excess, especially doses over 400 IU per day, which are common in over-the-counter supplements, it can begin to disrupt essential processes in the body, particularly those related to muscle strength and coordination. This often begins subtly. A little trouble getting up from a chair, feeling slightly off balance when turning quickly, perhaps a bit more fatigue than usual when walking across the grocery store. It's easy to write these things off as normal aging, but sometimes the cause is far more preventable and far more dangerous. Excessive vitamin E has been shown to interfere with muscle metabolism and reduce neuromuscular efficiency. For seniors, whose muscle mass is already naturally declining with age, this interference can lead to a significant loss of leg strength. The muscles that support your knees and hips may weaken gradually, almost invisibly, until one day you find yourself dependent on a cane, a walker, or worse, confined to a chair. But it doesn't stop there. High levels of vitamin E can also thin the blood, which is especially concerning for seniors who are already on anticoagulant medications. This creates a higher risk of internal bleeding, bruising, and complications from falls. Imagine the danger of a simple stumble when your body is more vulnerable to bleeding and your legs can no longer catch you in time. The most disturbing part? These changes don't come with warning labels. They build slowly, often masked as just getting older. And so many well-meaning seniors continue taking their daily capsule, unaware that it might be silently eroding the very foundation of their mobility. This isn't about creating fear, it's about creating awareness. The human body is resilient, but it is also sensitive to imbalance. What helps a 30-year-old thrive might cause a 70-year-old to stumble. That's why supplementation, especially in later life, must be done thoughtfully, not habitually. If you've been taking vitamin E without your doctor's guidance, especially in higher doses, it may be time to ask a hard but necessary question. Is this helping me or hurting me? And if one so-called beneficial vitamin can have such consequences, what other common supplements might be quietly harming your strength and independence? Let's talk about vitamin A next. It may surprise you even more. 2. Vitamin A, the hidden culprit behind weak bones and muscles. There's a quiet danger that hides in plain sight, inside the very vitamins many seniors trust to preserve their vision, protect their skin, and support their immune system. Vitamin A, often taken without much thought, has long been considered essential for healthy aging, and in the right amounts, it truly is. But what many older adults don't realize is that when vitamin A is taken in excess, especially over long periods, it becomes not a supporter of health, but a subtle saboteur. As we age, our bodies process nutrients differently. The margin for error becomes smaller, our organs slow, our bones thin, and our muscles don't recover the way they once did. Vitamin A is another fat soluble vitamin, meaning it doesn't flush out with urine like water soluble ones. Instead, it accumulates, building up silently in the liver and soft tissues. And when levels grow too high, something that's shockingly easy to do when taking multivitamins, cod liver oil, or fortified foods, it starts to cause real damage. One of the most troubling effects of chronic vitamin A excess is its impact on bone density. Studies have shown that high levels of vitamin A can accelerate bone thinning, particularly in the hips and legs. The very bones that support our movement, our balance, our independence, those are the ones most at risk. For a senior whose bones are already vulnerable, even a minor increase in fragility can turn an everyday stumble into a life changing fracture. But the danger doesn't end with the skeleton. Too much vitamin A can also damage muscle tissue, weakening the structures that give the legs their strength and stability. Many seniors begin to notice fatigue in their thighs or hips, aches that don't quite go away, and a creeping weakness that makes walking feel like more of a chore than it used to be. It's easy to dismiss these symptoms. After all, pain and tiredness are often considered part of aging. But what if the source isn't age at all? What if it's the very supplement you take each morning, believing it's protecting you? Worse still, vitamin A toxicity doesn't present itself in loud, dramatic ways. It doesn't scream, it whispers, slowly. Maybe you notice you're sitting more often. Maybe stairs feel steeper. Maybe you're finding excuses to stay home rather than risk a walk in the neighborhood. These changes may feel subtle at first, but over time they reshape your life. They chip away at your confidence, your activity level, your freedom. The truth is, no vitamin should be taken blindly, especially not by those in their 60s, 70s, or beyond. Our needs change with time, and what once nourished us can begin to wear us down if we're not careful. If you're taking vitamin A regularly, especially in combination with other supplements or fortified foods, it's worth a serious conversation with your doctor. The cost of inaction might be far greater than you realize. And if vitamin A, so widely recommended, can weaken your bones and legs in silence, what about the vitamins meant to give you energy and clarity? The next one, vitamin B6, may be the most surprising of all. The way it affects your nerves and the damage it can cause to your legs might be the warning you never saw coming. 3. Vitamin B6, the energy booster that can numb your legs. It often starts with a tingling, maybe just in the toes at first, a strange pins and needles sensation that comes and goes. Then it creeps upward. The feeling in your feet becomes dull, your steps less certain, and before long, your legs feel foreign, as if they're not fully your own. For many seniors, this alarming experience is blamed on aging, poor circulation, or even diabetes. But what if the culprit isn't a disease at all? What if it's a vitamin you've been faithfully taking to boost your energy, support your brain, or stay sharp? Vitamin B6, known for its role in metabolism and nervous system function, is often included in multivitamins, energy supplements, and brain health formulas. It's promoted as something that helps seniors stay vibrant and alert. But few people know that when taken in high doses over time, vitamin B6 can become toxic, especially to the nerves in your legs and feet. And the damage it causes doesn't just go away when you stop taking it. Unlike other water-soluble vitamins, which the body typically excretes when consumed in excess, vitamin B6 behaves differently. In large doses, especially above 100 milligrams per day, which is far more common in over the counter supplements than most realize, it begins to interfere with your body's ability to transmit signals along the nerves. The result is a condition known as peripheral neuropathy, and for many older adults, it's devastating. Peripheral neuropathy caused by vitamin B6 toxicity doesn't just affect sensation, it alters movement, coordination, and balance. You may feel clumsy, as if your feet don't land where they should. You may trip over nothing, lose your confidence walking down the stairs, or begin to avoid outings altogether because you fear falling. And the tragedy is that this damage can be irreversible. In some cases, even after stopping the vitamin, the nerves remain impaired, leaving lasting numbness or weakness in the legs. The emotional toll is equally heavy. We depend on our legs not just to move us from place to place, but to carry us through life with dignity. When that independence is threatened, everything changes. The joy of a walk in the park, the simple act of standing to cook a meal, or the freedom to walk into your doctor's office unaided, all of it can be stripped away because of a well-meaning but dangerous habit. Taking too much B6 in hopes of gaining energy might instead steal your mobility, your safety, and your confidence. This is not a rare or fringe issue. It's a growing concern among older adults who trust that if something is labeled a vitamin, it must be safe. But the truth is, even vitamins must be handled with respect and knowledge. What fuels vitality at one stage of life can quietly destroy it in another. Now, having looked at these three hidden dangers, vitamin E, vitamin A, and vitamin B6, it's clear that the real threat isn't just the pill itself, but the assumption that more is always better. But the story doesn't end here. There's one more critical factor that may be weakening seniors' legs every single day. Not a vitamin, but a lifestyle habit just as common and twice as overlooked. Let's uncover it next. 4. What does this mean for you? What this means for you, someone who has lived through seasons of change, overcome challenges, and built a lifetime of wisdom, is far more personal than a list of warnings about vitamins. It's a reminder that even the routines we trust, the habits we believe are helping us, must be re examined as our bodies and needs evolve with time. There's no shame in wanting to do what's best for your health. In fact, that desire to stay strong, active, and independent is what has likely brought you here. But the reality is that some of the very supplements you take daily, perhaps with your morning coffee or as part of a long standing routine, might be quietly undermining the strength of your legs, your balance, and the freedom you've worked your entire life to preserve. When leg strength begins to fade, it doesn't always feel dramatic. At first, it might be the extra effort it takes to rise from a chair, or the sudden hesitation before stepping off a curb. It might be choosing the elevator instead of the stairs, not because you're lazy, but because your legs don't feel as steady as they used to. Little by little, these changes become part of your everyday life. You move less, you avoid certain outings, you begin to plan your day around your limitations instead of your desires. And before long, the body adapts to weakness, to inactivity, to caution. Muscles shrink, bones grow more fragile, and the risks of falls, fractures, and loss of independence multiply. The most difficult part is that these changes don't always come from disease. They don't always stem from age. Sometimes they're the result of choices made with good intentions but lacking the right guidance. No one told you that too much vitamin A could weaken your bones. No one warned you that excess vitamin E might reduce your leg strength. And no one explained that taking high doses of vitamin B6 for energy could numb the very nerves that help you walk. But now you know. And that knowledge is not a burden, it's a gift. You are not powerless in this. In fact, you have more control than you think. By taking a moment to review your supplements, by asking your doctor the right questions, and by trusting the signals your body has been trying to give you, you can take a powerful step toward protecting your legs, your independence, and your dignity. It's not too late to make changes. It's never too late to choose differently. Your body is still capable of strength, still capable of recovery, and still capable of carrying you through the years ahead if you treat it with the care and precision it now deserves. So pause, reflect, take stock of what you're putting into your body every day. Because what you do now doesn't just affect your health today, it shapes the path you'll walk tomorrow. And speaking of tomorrow, there's one more truth we need to face. The things we don't take seriously enough, like inactivity and sitting too long, may be even more dangerous than the wrong vitamins. That quiet habit, so common in modern life, could be accelerating your decline faster than any supplement ever could. Let's explore that next. 5. What should you do now? Now that you know the truth, the next question is perhaps the most important one. What should you do? What can you do to protect your strength, your independence, and the life you've worked so hard to build? The answer lies not in fear or guilt, but in something far more powerful: awareness. Awareness is the starting point of all change. It's not about going back in time or undoing the choices you've made. It's about choosing better today with the wisdom you now hold. The first and most immediate step is to take a close look at the supplements you're using, not with panic, but with purpose. That bottle on your bathroom shelf or kitchen counter may have been part of your routine for years. But now, ask yourself, have I ever truly questioned what's in it? Have I checked the dosage or considered whether I even need it anymore? It's easy to trust labels that promise heart health, brain support, or anti aging. But your body is unique, and what works for someone else may not be right for you. Especially at this stage in life, precision matters. Too much of a good thing, especially when it comes to vitamins, can become harmful in ways that are subtle but deeply damaging over time. The next step is to speak with a doctor who understands the complexities of aging. Not all physicians are trained in geriatric care, and unfortunately, many seniors are still given one-size-fits-all health advice. You deserve better. You deserve a conversation that takes your age, your medications, your diet, and your lifestyle into account. Ask your provider to review your supplement list. Bring the bottles if you need to. Let them guide you toward what your body truly needs and what it doesn't. Equally important is getting a clearer picture of what's happening inside your body right now. Ask for a blood test, not just the basics, but a full nutrient panel that includes vitamin levels. Numbers don't lie. They will tell you if your levels are too high, if there's an imbalance, or if your body is storing more than it should. This is not about chasing perfection. It's about preventing harm before it takes hold in ways that are harder to reverse. And above all, remember that food, not pills, is your body's preferred source of nourishment. Whenever possible, rely on real, whole foods to meet your nutritional needs. Fresh vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats are not just good choices, they are nature's most effective medicine. Supplements may have a place, but they should never be a substitute for thoughtful eating and balanced living. Taking action now is not a sign of fear. It's a declaration of strength. It means you value your health enough to protect it. It means you're not willing to settle for decline when clarity and change are within reach. You've lived too long and come too far to let avoidable mistakes take away your mobility, your safety, or your independence. But there's still one piece of the puzzle we need to talk about, Because even if your vitamins are in perfect balance, there's another silent force working against your legs. And it's something most people do every day without even thinking. The way you sit, how often you move, and the amount of time you spend still may be shaping your future more than you ever imagined. Let's take a closer look. 6. A personal note from a fellow senior. There's something that only time can teach you. After living through nearly a century of change, love, loss, and resilience, I've come to realize that the greatest danger we face in our later years isn't illness. It's assuming that decline is inevitable. Too often, I've seen friends surrender to weakness, chalking it up to just getting old, without ever questioning the silent forces working against them. I've watched strong, independent people slowly lose their footing, sometimes literally, because of something as small, as overlooked, as a daily pill they thought was helping. I'm not speaking to you today as a doctor or a scientist, but as someone who has walked the same path you're on. Someone who has felt the quiet fear of losing strength, of hesitating before a staircase, of wondering whether one fall could be the beginning of the end. I have lived through it. And that is why I'm telling you this, not to frighten you, but to wake you up. You still have choices. You still have power. And most importantly, you still have time to protect the parts of your body that matter most, your legs, your balance, your freedom. We all want to live long lives, but what we should really be asking is, how do we live strong ones? The answer doesn't lie in chasing every new supplement on the market or believing that more is always better. It lies in listening to your body, to the quiet changes, to the wisdom that age gives us if we're willing to pay attention. It means questioning routines that no longer serve us and having the courage to change course when something isn't right. I share this with you because I believe deeply that growing older is not the same as growing weaker. We may have gray hair and slower steps, but our decisions still carry weight. Your health isn't behind you. It's still unfolding in front of you. And the strength you protect today is the independence you keep tomorrow. So don't wait. Listen closely, choose wisely, and walk forward, steady and proud, knowing that even in this season of life, you are still in charge. The quiet power of choosing wisely in your later years. Aging is not a loss. It is a passage into a different kind of strength, one that depends less on speed and more on wisdom. And yet, even with all the experience we carry, it's easy to overlook the quiet things that erode our health over time. Not all threats come loudly. Some arrive silently, disguised as helpful routines or well-meaning habits. And often, they begin with something as small as a vitamin taken out of trust, not knowledge. But now you know. You know that your body, at this stage in life, needs more care. Not in the form of more pills, but in the form of more thoughtful choices. You know that the strength in your legs, the balance in your steps, and the confidence in your movements are not just physical, they are emotional, deeply connected to your sense of independence and dignity. When you begin to lose them, you don't just lose strength, you lose freedom. You lose the spontaneous joys of life, the walk around the block, the trip to see your grandchildren, the quiet satisfaction of doing something on your own. But this is not a story of loss. It is a story of awareness. And with awareness comes the power to shift the path ahead. You don't need to live in fear, but you do need to live with attention. Look closely at the choices you're making. Question what you've always done. Seek advice that respects your age, your body, your history. And above all, believe that you are still capable of change. You deserve a future where your steps are steady, where your body supports your spirit, and where your years are not defined by limitations, but by the grace with which you meet them. Let this be your moment to take back control, not by doing more, but by doing what truly matters. Because growing older doesn't mean giving in, it means growing wiser. And wisdom, when acted upon, can be the strongest medicine of all. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.